Got it just in time. So I want to know, where's the sub counter on screen? There you go. There's a sub counter. Look at that. So Sandbox looking like he's going drill. And Hog Mortar, and doesn't quite. Surgical Goblin was like halfway going. He'll get some nice Hog shots. NATO does connect, though. Never you mind. He was trying to stick that Hog behind the Mighty Miner. And you can get some good damage. So you can, if you can connect that Mighty Miner, Surgical Goblin, like the timing, when you want to sneak that through, because I've done this move, it's fun, but you can hit that Mighty Miner ability and drop that Hog right behind it, and then just push that Mighty Miner onto tower and sneak past, catch him off guard. He was half going for that, half trying to protect against the NATO play. Probably more trying to protect against the NATO than anything else. And now it's just DPS City. Surge cycles Musketeer in the back. There's no big spell there to get the Musketeer off. How much can Surgical Goblin protect the Muskie? And does a little bit there. Nicely played for him. The guards could be a factor in this matchup. And that's a great Mighty Miner there. And gets the all-important mortar connection. Ewiz will shut that down finally, but every little chunk of damage that Surgical Goblin can get to keep this close early will be absolutely huge for him. And here's the big issue now. Is Sandbox really wants to save that tornado for offense now that we're in double and moving into sudden death overtime. Which is going to make it so he has to make some really interesting choices defensively. This is the problem that you see when you're playing this drill deck against Hog Rider, is that the best ways for you to defend, or the most conventional ways for you to defend, the NATO and the drill are both offensive tools. So then you have to start defending by DPS primarily, or you're going to have trouble getting on tower. And so Surgical Goblin right now is not even playing these Hog necessarily to connect. He'd love to connect, don't get me wrong. But in a lot of ways, he's playing them just to keep NATO's defensive. And he's going to get maybe 2 Hog shots here. Look at that. Boom, boom. This gets very hard for Sandbox at this stage. Did not get enough of a lead early. Now, Golden Knight can do Golden Knight things, and you saw that's why he didn't play NATO there. But controlling the Golden Knight high is Sandbox, or is Surgical Goblin, and that Magic Archer not getting the lineup here. Interesting NATO does get damage, but now Hog does not get one. DPS does its job. Here we go. Triple Elixir, 1512 to 1450. Hog goes opposite lane, guards high, just trying to keep the Golden Knight from connecting. No NATO does help, and a great Mighty Miner. Does Surgical Goblin Hog behind this? NATO not in cycle. Drill has to come out defensively. EQ will do its job. A nice log here. Ewiz gets cleared. Does the Hog get a shot? And it does. 912, 1069, opposite lane Hog Rider. I don't know about that spend. That's an interesting spend here. We'll get enough shots to be actually effectual. Cannon cart to the right-hand side. Double cannon carts, excuse me. No Mighty Miner ability. Has to control the Dark Prince opposite lane as well. Drill gonna get in, and oh boy, that's a ton of drill damage. That's a ton of drill. Drill plus rage. Drill plus rage. Sandbox takes game number 1. What a game. What an absolute game that was. Let's get it. NATO out. Does Surge have Miner or Loon prepped? Or even Miner Loon? So a little slow start here. Surge could be going a lot of different directions. He's not loving that Monk right now. Looking like RG Fireball here for Sandbox. Surgical Goblin, Mirror Pigs. And this will be some damage, but Hunter E-Spirit will do a decent job cleaning that up. So far, though, untouched for Surge here in game number 2, as Sandbox now puts the pressure the opposite direction. And just trying to get a Hunter shot on tower. A little bit of chip does get in, and nearly evens things up. Double Elixir coming, so Surge goes opposite lane here. Just to force Sandbox to spend a little bit on the opposite lane right before he wants to spend. But the Phoenix goes to the same lane as well, and Sandbox, he's not going to... No, he goes to 0 here. Sandbox goes to 0 here. Fireball should be available and does go to the Zappies. That's going to be a ton of damage. That's going to be a ton of damage right now. Mirrored Zappies come in. They're going to slow things down, but not before that tower gets absolutely shredded down to, wow, 10-14, and no counter push for Surgical Goblin. Plenty of Elixir for Sandbox. Ghost plus Pigs go opposite lane, so Zappies will be able to defend fine on the left-hand side. Surge does get some good damage, 1846. Monk gets through to reflect. Does not kill the flying machine, though. That's very important for Surgical Goblin. 879 remaining. And Surge cannot RG here. I mean, Sandbox cannot RG here, so Surgical Goblin just sets up to defend one more time. And this is what he has to do now. He has to spend in the opposite lane and not let Sandbox do a big push into that left-hand side. Because all of his ways for defending are to get fireballed like crazy, just like that. Zappies to help, but they won't help enough. One shot, two shots. No, not a second shot. Good DPS. But does Surge have anything here? He needs to start spending Pigs. You can't let fireballs go onto your tower. Pigs are in. First fireball. There's not enough elixir for a mirror, though. That's a ton of damage, though. That's a ton of damage. Zappies played, and the Ghost gets down on the left-hand side as well. This just went absolutely wild in the last few seconds. But Surgical Goblin is not loaded up to play offense. Goes Giant Skeleton high. He's going to go Pigs left and then maybe Pigs right here. Oh, he might just... No, he does go Pigs right. There we go. Hunter, no Electro Spirit. That's level 12 Pigs, everybody. Fireball has to come out on defense. Arrows gets it done, and we are going to game 3. Miner still available and NATO still available for Surgical Goblin. Maybe we see Drill here. No E-Giant from Sandbox. Maybe goes Hog. And that's looking like it's going to be Hog Rider here for Sandbox, potentially. This set has been absolute fire. HMed Says it perfectly. Austin with the good matchup. And there you go. So it's Ram Spam versus Hog. Log does get in a little bit late. We'll give up just one Hog shot. I don't know if Surge can stop that. No, he can't. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Surge can't stop it. So he's now in a place where he has to break through. The log on those goblins just meant dunzo. And now Surgical Goblin's in a weird spot where he has to get that tower down. And now he's going to go into his downside. Is he trying to sneak an Inferno Dragon through? Or is he just trying to force expenditure over here? Ram Rider's not going to connect. That'll be some okay sizzle and a nice Magic Archer. Was he baiting that out? Was that whole thing just to bait out the lane switch from the Mighty Miner? Because suddenly back in the game. Suddenly Surgical Goblin right back in the game. This game is all highlights, folks. This game is just a highlight machine. And I love it. I absolutely love it. GG to both these players. Ooh, a Hog Muskie push right into the pocket. Musketeer gets evaporated, and suddenly momentum feels like it's maybe switching to the direction of Surgical Goblin. Notice he's not even activating the ability right now because he's totally fine just to hit this and keep on going. And now he activates late. This is a huge set from Surgical Goblin, a huge recovery here. And look at the damage he's doing on both towers right now. Unbelievable. Mortar Connect from Sandbox. Just that one shot could be very impactful. Fireball will clear the Muskie. Sandbox in trouble. RG down opposite direction. Lumberjack trying to go to work. EQ trying to help. Inferno Dragon will get a little bit of sizzle, not too much. 950 to 1222. This one is crazy. This one is absolutely crazy. Already set of the day candidate here in our opening match. Does he get the Monk ability off? Is he going to try? Has to defend Hog Rider. I don't know if Surgical Goblin can defend this Hog Rider. I don't know if he can. He's trying to beat it out. Fireball down. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. What a game. What a game. What a game. That's the match we all wanted to see, everybody. You know that's the one you wanted to see today, and it did not disappoint. This whole set was absolutely bananas. And here we are in Game 2. Sandbox ahead, and Surgical Goblin gets the opposite lane Pigs, gets the Giant Skeleton on tower, and this is just a complete crazy comeback. The Royal Ghost goes wild on that left-hand side. And that just puts us right back in the mix. Talk about this being just Highlight City. Let's look at our next one. Game number 3. This game alone was just filled with great moments. The Magic Archer connection on the right-hand side, and this was a lot of pressure on the right, but the log here, Surgical Goblin left thirsting, went too hard on the right-hand side, and so Mighty Miner connects, and while you're getting a ton of damage on that right-hand side, that left-hand tower gets disappeared. On we go a little bit later in the set. Surgical Goblin needing to battle back. And this was a great way to get back in it. The Mighty Miner switches lane. Surgical Goblin ready for it. Magic Archer, boom, right there. And that's what ended up keeping Surgical Goblin in the game. That Magic Archer. Very, very well done. And then here we go, finally. The winning moment. Both towers very, very low in a 2-tower situation. Surge has options, Sandbox doesn't. And the Rage is coming through big here. Lumberjack right onto the Musketeer. And it felt like this Hog Rider was going to end it. But the Fireball clears. And now there's just nothing that Sandbox can do. Base race. GG. So fun.